voices are needed. Become the pulse of the revolution. In the ranks of the masses rising. Get up, your voices are needed. Become the pulse of the revolution.
Greetings, everyone. This is a call to actions, and I am your host, Bobby Vaughn Jr. Just hanging out over here in Westlake, Ohio right now. Today I got my best friend. We met in kindergarten, and we've hung out ever since. Stephen Harris, how's it going?
All right.
All right, yeah. We just couldn't stop skating and scooting together.
Or just hanging out.
Yeah, seriously. Hanging out in the garage. You remember the spider, like the spider web net thing that you had? It was like a branch off of a tree.
It was a wide stick at the end, like the shape of a Y.
Yeah.
I collected all the cobwebs and spider webs in the rafters, I guess not the rafters, but yeah, in the exposed ceiling in the garage, everywhere in the garage for that matter.
Yeah, man, I remember that. I'll never forget that. It made me uncomfortable when I slept in the garage, because I always felt like there could be a spider lurking inside of that thing because it was wound with webbing.
It was pushing 3/8 of an inch. It was pushing a 1/4 inch. I don't know. It was pushing a lot of thickness of spider web that was collected. Yeah. I don't know of anyone else who ever collected spider webs, so
no.
I have nothing to compare it to.
No. Anyways, Stephen is a certified investigator, and we're going to be reviewing this new report that came out entitled Biological Research and Self-Driving Labs in Deep Space Supported by Artificial Intelligence. I believe this is review number 3, and we're going to start on page 2 in the chapter entitled Automated Experiments in Space Supported by AI. Right? Yeah. And we're just going to let it all go. First of all, let me put this in. I don't support this type of funding for research and development. I think it's too much. I think these people who think that they're becoming, more than human, just need to just chill out and stop asking us for all their money, their tax dollars. Right? I was going to say sequestering money or panhandling. They need to stop panhandling. But there's a difference between panhandling out on the streets and then doing it legally through corporations, right, Stephen?
There is.
And yeah, what's it called when you? Do you remember what it's called when you panhandle through government? What's it called? It's not lobbying. It's
well, the good thing about this show tonight / this podcast today is that you brought someone who knows nothing about probably any of the subjects you have to talk about. But I'm happy to be here. Mm-hmm. I would have said lobbying. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But it's also called the lottery.
Yeah.
Because that's a way of getting funds, because they just coax everyone into paying into a lottery, win big, and then they tax it big time to just get free money, essentially. So
pretty much, yeah. Join a government agency or a contracted corporation of a government agency, and it's like, yeah, pretty much you can solicit. That was the word I was looking for. Solicitors. No better than the solicitors over at BP back in the day.
What would they do at BP?
The solicitors at BP, they would smoke cigarettes and ask people for money for booze.
Oh, my. The nerve.
You remember?
All right, you're getting off topic here.
All right. Stop shopping at Hot Topic. Up in here, you said. Anyways, we're gonna continue our audio investigation into this paper, an ethics review. Automated experiments in space supported by AI. Space biology research and data analysis have benefited from innovations in increasingly efficient and sensitive research technologies. In the broader field of biological research, next generation sequencing platforms, big data frameworks, and computational libraries for data storage, processing, and analysis have led to the ability to conduct groundbreaking clinical studies with multi-omics data collected across thousands of samples. Recent innovations in technologies such as single-cell sequencing, exome sequencing, cell-free nucleic acid sequencing, spatial transcriptomics, and nanopore sequencing have greatly broadened the potential for longitudinal characterization of cellular and genomic dynamics. Okay, let me take a break right there. Hold on.
Are we taking a break to duck, go every word used there?
No. Just how they were using. They said next generation sequencing platforms. Next generation sequencing platforms. 36. Okay, hit the references. 36. See where that came from. Hold up. Next generation. Oh, that's Stevens ZD et al. Big data. Astronomical or genomical? Is it astronomical or genomical? So here's a question. Are they trying to create new creatures for space? That's what it sounds like to me. Anyway, goodness gracious. Anything to say yet on that?
I think the word is outside my purview, whatever that means, whatever people say it.
Okay.
However, it seems to me that they're just looking for a way of data sequencing or genome sequencing, I guess you could call it, and whatever it is they use that for.
For space research. But remember, this is automated by a machine, and it's all done by a machine. No, I wouldn't want that done.
Well, isn't that the same as 23andMe or whatever, where you spit in the tube and you send it in? Like, haven't they gotten to a point where they're basically plugging that in a computer and the computer recognizes, the ancestry of it, and then they just simply plug and play? So I guess they're looking for a space-related 23andMe for sequencing whatever the heck they find in space.
That's an interesting take.
Beyond my realm.
No, it's not. Once you're involved, there's no way out. Anyways, findings derived from space-flown experiments leveraging these technologies include ocular retinal alterations, liver dysfunction, microRNA signatures, mitochondrial stress, gut microbiome alterations, and alternative splicing in space-grown plants, which could be really anything. And alternative splicing in space-grown plants. Because they're out of the jurisdiction of Earth, they can just create any type of plant that they want, right?
That's what I would have concluded, I suppose.
Right. Because we have ethics over here.
Well, what they're saying is in space we can do this, or we've done this to plants in space. No telling what they've done to humans in space. The ones without social security numbers and such.
Right. Whoa.
The lab-grown people.
Yeah. Well, space-grown plants, they don't have any problem writing that down. Just replace plants with space-grown people or space-grown humans, and then stamp it top secret, right?
Very well. Again, maybe you could refer to DuckDuckGo and see the definition of a human. Maybe a definition of a human who's being born on Earth.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
maybe if they're conceived and or born outside of Earth's atmosphere.
DuckDuckGo is a good search engine.
I heard it was compromised, but what do I know?
Yeah, that's probably what the competitors wanted everyone to think. Metager is good too. Metager, Metager. Anyways, all right. However, it is difficult to leverage these technologies to their full potential in space, where workforce and resources are extremely limited. Most experimentation in space is expensive, time-consuming, and not automated. This results in small experiments with few samples and replicates, and high levels of variability due to differing sample handling procedures. All right. The people writing this, they select their words when they're writing it. And when they chose the word replicates, that's kind of suspect to me.
Well, given your study of clones and the different things you've exposed, and as far as it goes to human replication, is there another word for it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. It's nice to have another dude. Thanks for being there, Steven.
Just answering the phone, man.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, beaver. All right. This makes AI and ML, which is machine learning. Most of the population is now just getting used to hearing the acronym AI, artificial intelligence, and becoming socially conditioned to artificial intelligence. Most are not familiar with another acronym, ML, which is machine learning. Which when you put AI and ML together, you create a general artificial intelligence, which is a synthetic life form, pretty much. Analysis of current space biological data difficult as the models become underdetermined and overfitted to the training data due to high dimensionality, tens of thousands of variables compared to tens of hundreds of data points, and technical batch effects make it challenging to combine data sets to gather high sample numbers. Workshop participants agreed that a comprehensive effort to streamline and automate streamline and automate biological experimentation in space is needed to generate large-scale, high-quality, AI-ready, reproducible data. Stephen, are you hearing this?
I am.
Reproducible data sets required to meaningfully expand and validate our scientific understanding and knowledge base. That just, I feel like my eyes were just scraped like by the machine just reading that. Workshop participants agreed that a comprehensive effort to streamline and automate biological experimentation in space is needed to generate large-scale, high-quality, AI-ready, reproducible data sets required to meaningfully expand and validate our scientific understanding and knowledge base. Here we define AI-ready to mean a data set that can be used to train AI and machine learning models without further pre-processing except that which may be uniquely required for model architecture. Okay, the wording here is interesting to me. Except, there's an exception, that which may be uniquely required for model architecture. Yeah, ready. Any thoughts, Steve?
I have to reread the sentence in order to understand it. See, you have all these experts that you interview, you have all these people in the know come on the show. This is the layman as it gets.
I guess. Hopefully it stokes your interest.
To the extent that I can understand it, sure.
Yeah, well, as a certified investigator.
Well, you know what science ends up doing in my eyes?
What's that?
It's that big last long sentence. We redefine the AI. It can be used to train AI unless it needs to be trained otherwise. They take very common sense things and they make them sound very smart.
Yeah.
And in other words, if the computer don't know, then we'll make it know later, is how that reads to me.
If the computer don't know, make it know later.
But yeah, like in other words, it's just simply that. Like, okay, we're looking for really high-tech stuff, and then it's not high-tech enough in the field that we need, we'll uniquely make it that way, okay? Yeah, you guys have fun with that.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a fun job. Anyways, one more section here. Current terrestrial automated science. On Earth, basic molecular biology tasks such as pipetting, sequencing, library preparation, cell culture maintenance. They're considering this basic. Current terrestrial automated science. Alright, so this is automated. On Earth, basic molecular biology tasks such as pipetting, sequencing, library preparation, cell culture maintenance, microscopy, quantitative phenotyping, and behavioral change detection have already been automated in a variety of platforms. That upsets me. I thought they're...
Well, if it's basic, why wouldn't it be? That's how it goes. They start at the lower level. That's why they want to get rid of McDonald's workers. They first outfit the store within a cashier that's automated, and then they'll go to the manager, and then who knows, the maintenance workers, who knows. The droids.
Right. Sheesh. Biofoundries apply high throughput laboratory automation to generate thousands of strain constructs and DNA assemblies per week. Biofoundries. Where are these biofoundries?
I don't even know what a biofoundry is. Would that be similar to a steel foundry?
Yes. These advances now enable robust technical reproducibility across experiments, allowing researchers to isolate only the effects of relevant biological independent variables. However, these platforms still require a great deal of personnel, operation, and hands-on time. Ideally, a fully automated experimental system for spaceborne research will integrate multiple robotic functions. For example, pipetting, whatever they call it in there, cell culture, microscopy, photo capture and analysis, phenotyping, cell lysis, and nucleic acid isolation, library preparation, sequencing, and data analysis. But you know what? They don't have any emotions, and they won't be able to talk to their coworkers, on what they see. Do they agree or do they not agree with what is going on? It's just automated, and it's doing what it was programmed to do.
Well, with the acceleration of time, even though it says we still require a great deal of personnel to operate the operation, with the acceleration of time, it'll be a less amount of time than it would have been had it been a while ago, Ben. So, in other words, layman's terms, it seems sure that may be the way that they're going, but as of now, there's still going to be human integration, but their ideal goal is to not have as many humans running it. So you have to worry about the ethics or lack of ethics that what AI and or computers have or don't have programmed into them.
When they're just creating these things in space. The only human input required should be the initial, according to the paper. Hold on. The only human input required should be the initial setup of experimental parameters and the command to begin experimentation and system requested input when unexpected experimental outcomes are observed. Unexpected experimental outcomes. That is something like a mutation or a leak. Wow. Unexpected experimental outcomes. That's the phrase they use. Unexpected.
I always wonder.
What's that?
I'm sorry. I always wonder, if they're experimenting with any kind of things in bio labs, as we were told during COVID, in relation to that stuff. And you can tell how educated I am because I use the word stuff. But
I'm with you.
Well, the oxygen that they expose these different things to in biolabs in space, would it be different once it's exposed to a different level of oxygen, say on space? Would it either die, or would it possibly become stronger? Because, for example, it breathed really good air, and then it came down and basically got sick because it couldn't breathe as good of an air, and therefore had to adapt and become stronger.
Right.
That old adage of you break a bone, it's only stronger.
Well, you're referring to an entity that would be born in space and then come down to Earth and try to breathe our air, and it would get sick because it's so polluted. Right?
Yes. But specifically saying, what if it mutated to be a better version of itself only because it got sick and
was able to adapt to Earth, maybe?
Yes, got better.
Yeah. Well, the possibility even a human that was born in space, or a genetically modified creature with mostly human genes, being born in space and coming to Earth is not actually too far out when reading what they have up their sleeve. You know what I'm saying, Breem?
Yes.
Yeah. Let me just wrap up where we left off. The new domain of cloud laboratories for automated science, such as Emerald Cloud Lab, provides facilities to researchers who design and run experiments through an application programming interface. Did you get that? That's Emerald Cloud Lab. All right. Oh, makes me nauseous just thinking about it. Next section. Current and potential spaceflight. Automated science. At present, there is limited automation for biological data collection and analysis in spaceflight, although progress has been made. This is particularly seen in automating spaceborne biological image acquisition. For example, a real-time multi-fluorescence cell culture microscope was established on the International Space Station, and Arabidopsis hold on. Responsive to microgravity was live. Is this on the same page?
Yes.
And Arabidopsis, responsive to microgravity, was live imaged by confocal microscopy. It just didn't look like it was done well there. Anyways, a recent deep learning approach for automated cell segmentation based on crowdsourced annotation libraries could be leveraged to greatly expedite in situ deep space knowledge discovery. One possibility for artificial intelligence and machine learning and automation in space would be to move from the current manual analysis of International Space Station rodent behavioral video to an machine learning based analysis of ambulatory sensoromodal and behavioral space flight effects. There's a period right there. Machine learning based analysis of ambulatory sensoromodal and behavioral space flight effects of what? Of what, Stephen?
The rodents?
I wouldn't think so. I think that would be humans. Another possibility would be to leverage natural language processing with vision transformer models to develop platforms for automatic real-time image descriptions and labeling. Another area of expanding automated artificial intelligence as opposed to just AI. Automated artificial intelligence and machine learning data capture, analysis, and spaceflight is ocular retinal imaging. IDXDR, an AI-enabled analysis platform for detection of diabetic retinopathy and retinal images, is a Food and Drug Administration approved AI-based method already. This indicates potential feasibility of AI-based methods. Okay, so they use diabetics as the first lab rats for their AI and machine learning. You see that?
Yeah, I think it's just simply scanning an eyeball, basically with a camera. You know, while it has its perks, it also has its pros and cons. If you will. What's an opposite of a perk? I don't use that word, I guess.
Right.
And has its cons, in other words.
Yes.
But, if I had to sit here and say, well, I think finding that someone has a bad disease with a camera looking at their eye is unethical, I think I probably wouldn't say that.
No, not necessarily. But
it's just like anything, YouTube was small and awesome, and you could look up crazy something or another,
and then you start to see the
guy in the basement.
You start to see
it grows big, and corporate conglomerate is what it is. So yeah, you see something that just simply scans the retina and tells you whether you have a bad disease, and then in time we're going to have something that scans the retina and says you're going to be XYZ when you're older, based on nothing that we know right now. But anyway.
Well, it's kind of interesting that you said X, Y, and Z, because retina scanning, and that made me think about chromosomes, X and Y chromosomes, where I'm pretty. Man, don't judge me on this one. All right, I'm testing myself. I'm pretty sure a man is an X and Y chromosome, and have X and Y chromosomes, and the females have two X chromosomes. Right?
I don't remember.
Pretty sure. Yeah. The only way I can remember that is, I think of the Y as the dude having a wiener. That's it. That's the only way I can remember it. And then, X and X is okay, the female has her body parts. X and X. X. Anyway, yeah. I'm not getting explicit. Kind of like Pt.3 up in here.
Anyway, my comment didn't have to do anything with gender, Bobby. It had to do with, I don't see the problem with them finding things using AI for the betterment of humankind. And I would never say for our security, I don't like that term, but for the betterment of finding out someone's health problems. So I saw something, of course, source on that. What's your source on that? I saw something that said AI is able to determine whether or not someone has a disease, and I can't remember. I want to say it was cancer based on X-rays alone. I can't remember what the disease was, but of course, I get my sources and news from the headline alone. You don't have to read the rest of the article, actually, most of the time, if you didn't know that. But anyway.
Oh no, that's where all the good stuff is when you read the article. That's where all the good stuff is, man.
Yeah, the meat and potatoes.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Where were we, Breem?
We were at the part where it talked about retinal scans for... I have to get back to the document, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Current and potential spaceflight automated science. I think that's where we were. No, man. Hold on.
It's the top of page... Hold on. The top of page 3.
No. Anyways, if you look at the man, the images on this, you see the different tiers of research and development of which these intersite, including various NASA and national security sites, in the name of national security, are using whole organisms, cells, organs, and molecules. Whole organisms, and there obviously is a picture of a human being. Multi-hierarchical levels of space biological research and data. Space biology research seeks to characterize the effects of space flight on living systems across hierarchical biological levels. Our current understanding of the biological response to space flight incorporates multiple types of evidence at the cellular, tissue, and this is the one that I really like, the whole organism level. And the whole organism, you look at the photograph, the picture. No, it's not a photograph. It's a figure of a human being. And we were just talking about, they were claiming they were using rats in space, right? So with this paper, the whole organism, we have proof that with whole organism research, they plan on using human beings. Right there, you see it, right, Stephen?
In the figure 1, correct? Multi-hierarchical.
Yes.
Excuse me, hierarchical levels of space
yes.
biological.
The whole organism. That's not a mouse. That's a human.
And they're at the top of the tier.
Yes, but that is a human for research that they plan on using.
Well, no different than any of your other studies, podcasts, and whistleblowers. Where do they start? They always start with some sort of experimentation. Well, we got to find out the hard way. We'll just alter the logbooks and have the whistleblowers come out later, and we'll just deny until they're dead.
Well, what do you think about this?
I think they're going to have people lined up to go because they're going to paint it as a trip to Mars or a trip to space, simply.
But when actually they're participating in a massive experiment.
Yes. Which, again, they'll preface it with the betterment of humankind. They won't say mankind, because that's probably not correct anymore. But, yeah, they'll preface it with saying, do this for the betterment of those that follow you. Which is a good thing, but they'll preface it that way, and then they'll be subject to who knows what.
All humans.
An injection? Who knows? Odd.
Whichever ones are, good and ready, or whichever ones are, just like on the outskirts and just waiting for the next bait. They're trying to pull them in. See whole organisms there. I think that's a good part to end this podcast, and we will continue in a couple days because it's pretty easy when you're reading from a document, right, Mr. Investigator?
Yeah, minus I didn't realize you were going to read the part about the diagram, and I looked all over for where you were reading, but that's all right.
Yeah. Eat more plants. Remember, animals have feelings too. God bless. From a call to actions. Steven, you want to give any shout outs to anybody that'd be listening to this?
How about just to your listeners in general? If you're listening to my buddy Bobby, I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate your loyalty to his podcast. It's a pretty sick thing to have people that follow a friend of mine from childhood. It's clear he doesn't have millions and millions of followers, so as he likes to say, if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
Oh yeah, the good, secure, whole, the powerful. Yeah. We are the Marines.
I don't think that's their slogan, though. It's the few, the army of one.
What about an army of none?
Isn't that a video game?
I think that was an old punk rock.
It had to be.
an old punk rock band from back in Metropolis, Illinois. Army of None, yeah. They had a few songs. Metro Song, Surf Song, and I think, what was the other one? You find it on archive.org. It's the only way you'll find it. What was the other one? Fuck Masonry. All right. And I will end it with that. God bless, Breem. I appreciate you being on the show.
And you, my child.
Please excuse my my rash language there at the end. I'm a professional man, but some things make me upset.
Same.
And I'm so sick and tired of these. You know, the real villains are the ones that lurk and have been lurking. And if we don't dig deep, we're not going to find them.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll keep digging.
All right, Yavi.
All right, Investigator Breem.
We'll talk at you.
I'll send you some squirrels.
All righty then.
All right, man. Nice talking with you, Chipmunk.
All right, Squeaker. We'll talk at you.
All right. Yeah. Hang in there, Beaver.
As well, Buck, dude.
Buck.